this is Bonnie from Backwards Story, and as some of my longtime regulars know, it is a twist on the tale Thursday at a Backwards Story, where every Thursday I do try to do something that focuses on a retelling, a myth, a fairy tale, something mermaid inspired. I try to do something every single Thursday, and as soon as this book arrived last week, I think it arrived on a Thursday actually, I was like, this is what I'm doing next week. I am going to do a video review of the Mermaid Handbook. So here we are. And today, we are looking at the brand new release, the Mermaid Handbook. It is an alluring treasury of literature, lore, art, recipes, and projects by Carolyn Turgeon. Carolyn Turgeon has written several fairy tale retellings. One was for kids, the rest are an adult. They do have crossover appeal, and they are all so fantastic. I love them all. I really like the psychology in Godmother. I really like the twist in Fairest of Them All where Rapunzel grows up to be Snow White's stepmother. I love Mermaid that has both the mermaid's point of view and the princess from the convent, which you never see. Plus she has a couple of other books as well, and just her books are always so magical. And no matter what book you choose by her, you can't go wrong. You may remember I recently reviewed the Faerie Handbook. If you haven't watched this video yet, I will link to it below because it is gorgeous, and the new book, the Mermaid Handbook, is just as lovely. You can see that the Faerie Handbook has beautiful silver pages, whereas the Mermaid Handbook is gilded gold, and you have beautiful little ribbons in blue and purple. And you guys, this shade of purple and this shade of blue are two of my very favorite colors, so they are just beautiful side by side, and I love how they compare and contrast with one another. I love the gold and the silver detailing on them both. And while I enjoyed the Fairy Handbook and loved going through it, I was really excited about the Mermaid Handbook because a lot of you know mermaids are definitely my thing. I have so much mermaid stuff. Here are just a few of the books that I have picked up over the years. Whenever I see a picture book or a treasury that's got mermaid facts in it, I pick it up because I do have a mermaid book that I want to someday write. And sometimes maybe they're the silly little things, like one part of the story reminded me of something specific I'm planning to do, and it helps keep a visual reminder for me. But you can see I have a ton, and I even have more of this that's not in the right spot at the moment. I am sorting through all of my stuff this summer, trying to organize it a bit more and see exactly what I do have and what I don't need anymore out of my collection. And you can see why the Mermaid Handbook just fits in really well with the whole collection. I mean, that tippity-top shelf all the way up on top of my Billy bookcase from IKEA, all the way up against my ceiling, has quite a few of my mermaid books. A lot of them are on the floor here because I am reorganizing things at the moment, and I'm just throwing things everywhere while I redo my bookcases. But I actually don't have room anymore for all the mermaid books up there. I used to be able to fit them all, so I have to figure something else out for that. But at the moment, you can see some of them at least. And so this is a book I was definitely looking forward to from the moment that I heard Carolyn was working on it. So let's take a peek inside. It's so gorgeous. You start off with these beautiful end papers. This lovely swirl of blue. Then we start off with a quote from Shakespeare and our beautiful table of contents. The table of contents features fashion and beauty, arts and culture, real mermaids and where to find them, food, entertaining, and stories of the sea, and then some bibliography information and stuff at the back, plus you have beautiful illustrations throughout. This book, both books really, are fantastic. Say you are a writer and you are writing about fairies and mermaids. You have so much great information and history of how they became ingrained into our culture and things that are really famous about both. If you have friends who love fairies and mermaids, they make really great gifts. They're beautiful gift editions. The price point's not too bad. It's $35 and they are gorgeous books. If you are a bookstagrammer, if you like posting pictures on Instagram, these books look absolutely gorgeous. So, of course, you have the introduction. And then this gorgeous intro splash page for fashion and beauty. This is actually one of my favorite photographs in the entire book. It's just gorgeous. Fashion and beauty icons. You have really fun elements such as how to create mermaid hair and your own saltwater spray. There are great craft projects. You can make mermaid combs, and they are so pretty. And you can wear them, you can use them online, you can use them as giveaways if you are an author. And crowns. And necklaces, and just all sorts of really cool things. So pretty, very unique and one of a kind. There are some makeup tips and tricks. And there's this whole gorgeous passage about mermaid tails and the people who actually make mermaid tails for a living. I mean, these are just gorgeous. Look at that, it's absolutely stunning. These tails are used in movies, they're used for photo shoots, they are used for people who are professional mermaids, which we will get to later if you've never heard of that. And it's just amazing, and they look so realistic, and they're just gorgeous. I love looking at people in professionally made mermaid tails. If you don't know your history, there is a whole passage of the way mermaids have evolved through culture and over time. And even the way sirens evolved, because they weren't originally mermaid-shaped. There are tales that you may have never even heard of before because they are just not as popular as Hans Christian Andersen's The Little Mermaid. And they are just tales from all around the world. Finfolk, Kelpies, Morgans. There are so many different tales, and I love that so many of them are brought to your attention in this handbook. I think that is especially a great guide if you are a writer or if you are really into mermaids, because they are things that you can't pick up as easily off of the shelf. I mean, I know, you saw my mermaid shelf. I collect stories. They are not easy to obtain from different cultures. So I love this passage. It's one of my favorite things about this entire book, actually. Of course, you have some of the more popular stories as well. You have to in a book like this. It's not just the obscure, but even these are fun, and even these, not everybody knows anything outside of The Little Mermaid. I do because I've researched it so much, but a lot of people don't. And this is new information if you don't know more than Ariel. I'm always surprised by how many people don't even know the original story of The Little Mermaid, and they only know the Disney version. That has always been a little surprising to me, that they didn't realize Disney changed so much and that the original story doesn't have a happily ever after ending. There's a passage on mermaids at the movies and different movies that have come out about mermaids. There's backstory on famous movies such as Splash and what went into designing the mermaid and all of the little things that made that movie what it became. And I actually haven't heard about a lot of them. A lot of them were out a long time ago, and they're not very popular now at least, and I just have not heard of their existence, so I will be looking some of these up now that I know about them. And another crafts page, I love how they're just scattered throughout the book. I think with the fairy one, they might have all been in one section. Don't quote me on that, but I like that they're scattered throughout to kind of give you a break and then bring you back to it again. You get a little excited all over. There's a section on mermaid hoaxes. There's a section on real mermaids, and yes, that is a thing. From the very first mermaid, to star vehicles, to modern-day professional mermaids, to places like the Coney Island Mermaid Parade, and to Weeki Wachee Springs in Florida, where so many professional mermaids are today. There is so much out there and so many fun things that you might not even have known about that you can do just by learning about them in this book. There's even a little humor. I thought the guide on a young man's guide to picking up mermaids was particularly funny and amusing, and it just made me smile. There's a passage on manatees and how people used to think that they were mermaids back before they knew what manatees were. There's beautiful full-page, double-page spread illustrations throughout the book. Some of them are photographed, some of them are illustrated. The quality is very good, the paper is very heavy, and that is part of what makes the value of this book so good and makes it such a great gift to give to somebody. There's a whole section on mermaid parties and the different things that you can make for mermaid parties. So many fun, cute ideas. For yourself, for friends getting together, for a child birthday party. There are so many ways that you can use this. You can even make delicious sea glass candy and cocktails and all manners of yummy things. There are some great food recipes, and the pictures are just delectable. I mean, there are so many pages of delicious food that you can take a look at in this book. I've only brushed the surface of the fun things in this book, and I'm trying to go really fast because I can hear a lawnmower starting up outside, and I don't want to have you hear that while I'm filming, so this might be a little bit faster than I was planning, but it's either do this video right now or don't do it for 2 or 3 weeks, and I really want you to be able to go out and buy this book right now because it is so gorgeous. I am so in love with it, and I cannot wait to share it with you. It just came out last week. It is a companion to the Fairy Handbook, and there are just so many gorgeous things about both books, and they are perfect for any book lover's collection. That is everything from me today. Let me know what you think about these gorgeous books and if you love them as much as I do, and I will talk to you guys again really soon. Bye!